All right. Well, welcome on in. Lovely to have you on stream.
Thank you, thank you. I am excited to be here.
You have a lot of things to tell us.
I do have a lot to go over. Um, where should I begin?
Well, tell us about you. Then maybe about Wabbajack, and then about the mod list, and then things will happen in between. Also, in the chat, I believe I should have that command ready. Yes, that's a direct link to the mod list that RingComics is working on. If you want to take a look, guys, feel free.
All right. Well, I'm Ring. I am uh I'm a IT guy from California. And I actually haven't been modding for that long. I started modding just in general about 2 years ago when I started working on the Ultimate Skyrim Wabbajack list. So it wasn't even for Morrowind; it was for a completely different Elder Scrolls game.
And you tell us,
And
you
then,
tell us to our faces. You don't fear repercussions for telling us that you're a Skyrim person.
nope,
No?
nope. I'm a Skyrim baby and proud. But after I was working on it for a little bit, I wanted to get back into Morrowind because I used to play on my original Xbox all the time, and I had never played it modded. And when I started looking for like mod lists and stuff to work on, or to play, I realized like there was only one Morrowind mod list for Wabbajack. I was like, we need to change that. So as I started building like my mod list and learning more about modding and getting it to be more stable and everything, I started uh learning how to do Wabbajack and all that stuff. So I've been working on modding for about 2 years straight, and it's been for about a year of it. It was practically my full-time job with Corona in full swing and everything.
Lucky you.
But now I can show you guys exactly what Wabbajack is. I actually get this question a lot from the MMC
Well, yeah,
in the
because
Discord.
like a lot of people in the Morrowind Discord tend to be nearly Morrowind exclusive, and there's even a little bit of hatred for other Elder Scrolls games. Like we tend to be a little purist, I guess, about it. Um, and because Wabbajack is not really a Morrowind thing, or not yet, that may change thanks to you. It's not really a tool that a lot of people are familiar with.
Yeah, I could see that being a good reason. The I haven't actually noticed as much hate for the other Elder Scrolls games outside of a few like jokes. Like people like to um censor ESO with the money sign,
Yeah.
which I think is quite funny because I actually play ESO. Um, but the I haven't seen nearly as much hate as I see on like Skyrim. On the Sky in the Skyrim community, they seethe. It's I've I've been very happy with the community here. It's been extremely welcoming and very nice, which I'm very happy about.
It's true. Like
But
we like to joke about and say, "Oh, you play like I did," or "You play Skyrim. How can you?" But really, we're not that bad. Just say that.
no, it's not that bad. It's not nearly that bad.
As King is saying, "You want me to shit on Oblivion? Because I can totally shit on Oblivion."
Oh man.
Oblivion is a different story. Redguard. Have you ever played Redguard? I could never run it on my computer.
There was one time where I tried to, and I couldn't even get past the payment screen because you had to buy it on GOG Galaxy, and it was bugging out on my computer for some reason, so I could not even purchase it.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
quick.
it was it was a pain.
Oh well.
Um,
Right.
But moving on to Wabbajack here.
Yes.
This is the Wabbajack tool. Uh, what its basic purpose is to download mods from the internet and extract them and install them into a mod organizer so that it replicates a mod list that an author has created. So just to give you a few examples, here is the gallery. This is where you can search through and find different mod lists. You can read their descriptions to see what you like. There's a lot of Skyrim mod lists. That's where it's most popular right now. There's a few Fallout ones. Here is Moise. It's been under maintenance for a while. Hopefully that changes. But it's the only other Morrowind mod list on Wabbajack, and it's mostly graphical.
Hmm.
And if we go down, here's YAJAN Wabbajack, which is mine. And the basic premise of how it works here at Wabbajack is you have to create a mod list normally, like how you would normally make a mod list. Use your mod manager, whether that be MO2 or some people like WireMash. Personally, I use MO2, and it also works the best with Wabbajack.
Well, sorry, I interrupt you. Isn't it that Wabbajack works exclusively with MO2? That was my understanding.
I don't know if they're working on or if they finished support for other mod organizers like Vortex and so there's another one I remember they were working on getting working, because it's not just for Bethesda games.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, there's Dishonored, and which one is this? Dragon Age.
Dragon Age, yeah.
So there are different games it supports, and not all of them are supported by MO2.
I see.
So it needs different mod organizers depending on the game.
But for now, it's fair to say that you need to have mod organizer for Wabbajack, Morrowind Wabbajack lists.
Yes, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to work on Morrowind, MO2 is your best bet for a Wabbajack list, simply because it doesn't support WireMash, and the other like Vortex and Nexus Mod Manager, all know those. They have so many issues with Morrowind, it's not really worth it.
Mm. Yes.
But once you've created a list, so here I have my list here. I've actually been working on removing some of the stuff. Like I've removed a lot of my texture replacers recently in exchange for just intelligent textures. So my active mod count is actually down.
It's a decent 260.
It's still respectable, I gotta say.
Sorry, I interrupt you. Have you seen Abbott's mod that he published yesterday called Modlist?
No,
Essentially,
I did not.
from the MCM menu in your game, you get to see all of your plugins and all the MWSC mods.
Oh, wow.
And then you can open Notepad or whatever you want, paste, and boom, you have it.
That's great.
That's super cool.
Wow.
Super cool. So I realized that I had some 270 MWSC mods, and I'm like, oh
man.
shit.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
Now I got to go download that so I can see.
You definitely. That's the only way you realize. Like 3 years ago, there were just a few, and I was hoping that there would be more. And now, I still have some 500 actual plugins, but eventually there will be more Lua mods than traditional ones.
I think most of my mods are Lua based.
Mm.
I think here. Let's see. Maybe not. 176 plugins.
Still.
But once you've created your mod list, right, and you've got it just right, the way you can compile it into a Wabbajack list is you got to make sure that every single mod in your list has a source file. So like for here, for NM, I'm working on adding this to YAJAN. If I open up the meta file here and show you. One second. So here is the meta file for 4NM. A lot of it is gibberish, but the important part here is the URL. And that tells you exactly where I got this file from. And that's important because Wabbajack doesn't just copy it doesn't just copy your mod list and copy it onto a new computer when you run it. It actually downloads all of the mods and installs them for you. So it's very important that every file has a source to it. Otherwise, it won't be able to install that file, which means the list isn't going to work.
Is that connected? I know that a few months ago on the Nexus, they were talking about how a mod could not be hidden anymore or something like that. Is that connected with Wabbajack and the fact that you need the mod to be available for modlist to work?
So Wabbajack does benefit from this, but we didn't request it necessarily. It's because the Nexus is internally working on their own system that works very similarly to Wabbajack, and so they needed that functionality for their system. But it definitely does help, and it's also saved me from having to ask people like Murlord to keep 1,000 different files on their webpage until I can get it updated. I remember when I first started making it, Murlord and RandomPal were updating Ashfall and Beautiful Cities of Morrowind like every other day. And when they do that, they would delete the old file. So when Wabbajack would go try to download the old file, it'd be gone. And it can't use the new file because it's different.
There's a different URL.
Yep. So it would try to download the old file, realize it was gone, and then just fail completely. If it can't find every single file, it fails.
Like the whole list, so it's not like it's gonna not install that mod and maybe the list is gonna be buggy. It's just there's no mod list.
Yep. If there's one mod it can't find, it does not install. And this is to prevent issues with, like you said, a mod isn't installed and something's buggy or broken. Because like imagine for this list, imagine if 4NM was unavailable for some reason. The entire gameplay and everything is balanced around 4NM, and now there's no 4NM. It's not going to be fun. So having all of the mods have a source is important for when we come in here. You can actually, and here I will do that more square. So you can create a mod list, and you can see it's filled in all of the information for YAJAN here. And when I'm not going to do it right now because A, it takes about 15 minutes, and B, I don't want to overwrite the files I already have. But essentially what this would do is when I hit go, it's going to find every single file and folder inside of my mod organizer install. And it's going to index them, and it's going to look at the source of that file. So I need to identify a source, so like 4NM for the 4NM mod and everything like that. And once it's identified the source and it has a URL for every source, then it checks the URL, compiles all that information it just gathered into a file for another Wabbajack client to use, and then exports it for me to upload to, I use GitHub, and then I can also upload it directly to the Wabbajack gallery since I'm a verified author.
Okay, so if I understand, you're doing all the job in MO2 to download the mod, install the mod, tweak the load order, I suppose. All those
Yes.
really, really annoying things so that people who have the Wabbajack client just click on the list and then they let Wabbajack and MO2 download everything and install everything.
Yes, exactly. So, this is for people who want to enjoy a heavily modded game, but don't necessarily have the skills or time to do it themselves. Um, and yeah, so all of that stuff, it all gets skipped. Like the getting all the load orders ready, um, creating the multi-patch, doing a cleaning of all the ESPs. Even I've even been able to generate distant land and patch the exe with the Morrowind code patch for
Okay.
yeah, for every install. It's I think I have a very short list of things the user actually needs to do. Like you do need to run a couple of things before you can run YAJAN, just because the game isn't great at recognizing if it's supposed to start or not. So you get an application load order, which is really frustrating. But
But
other
you,
than
you
that,
do have detailed instructions so that even someone who's never used Wabbajack or even really modded Morrowind will be able to install that fairly easily.
yes, it's very important to have good, precise, and thorough instructions because, some people come into it, they've never done anything like this. This is their first toe in the water when it comes to modding and everything. So, they don't know what an MO2 is. They don't know what mlocks and rymash and all that kind of stuff is. They just know they want to try out modding. And so you need to provide those detailed instructions that say exactly what this program is. So you need to launch modorganizer.exe. This is mod organizer 2. And because some people they don't know. They haven't learned these types of things. So it's important for it to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Chat, feel free to drop in your questions as we go along because you know me and you can see Ring is the same. We can go on and on and on and on and on.
Yep.
So feel free to interrupt us if there's something we go over very quickly because it's very obvious to us and we don't think to expand on it. Just interrupt. Say, hey, back up a minute or back up a few minutes. What was that thing you were talking about?
Absolutely. Yep. Sometimes I get talking and then I realize, oh wait a second, I've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, it's like I'm out of breath. How come? What gives?
Well,
Go ahead.
I think. Oh, I see now. I thought I had broken my MO2. Uh, but that kind of leads me into YAJAN itself. If nobody has any questions about Wabbajack, uh, other than it's all very five head.
What question? What does that mean?
Five head?
Yeah, I'm completely. I don't speak meme. I don't speak young and hype. You want to know too? Thank
Uh,
you, Danina. So I don't feel so bad.
I've used it. I've seen it used in two different ways. Either like a big brain moment, like forehead, but now it's a five head since your head is so
We
big.
level up. I
I've
see.
also seen it used in a way to make fun of somebody. Uh, like they make something stupid, and you call them five head, like, oh wow, you're so smart, like
Yeah, okay, I
sarcastic kind of
see. So
thing.
it can be either really good or really bad, depending on how
Yeah,
you say it. Okay. Well,
but evidently it's also a forehead emote. I didn't know about that one.
There's also the emote. I don't speak emote. All right. Well, whoop, and my chat just jumped. Big brain.
Yep,
Okay. Big brain.
big
That's
brain.
what we do today. Big brain stuff. I hope you're taking notes, guys. There'll be a
Yeah,
quiz.
there will be a quiz. Absolutely.
Question number 1. What does 5-head mean? I got this one. I'm a little curious. It's still about Wabbajack. You've explained how you make a Wabbajack mod list. Essentially,
Mhm.
you install your mods on Mod Organizer 2, and then you export it to simplify things. How is
Yes.
it on the user's side? Do they need to
Oh,
do things in
installation.
Wabbajack? Sorry, do they need to do things with MO2?
So it depends on every list. Um, with my list, I try to reduce the amount of actual modding you need to do. I
Mm-hmm.
want it to be simple for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing to be able to get into the game. But I don't shy away from uh like I have all these tools ready for anybody who jumps into the game to be able to run. And these are all the tools that I use, along with some others that don't work inside of MO2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so when they get into the game, when they get into Mod Organizer 2, they're still exposed to all these tools. They're still exposed to all the mods. And when people ask me for help with troubleshooting, I usually give them directions that lead to them learning something. Like a lot of people don't know, oh, you got to run the Morrowind code patch, and they don't even know what the Morrowind code patch is, so you have to explain what it is. But usually they come out knowing a little bit more about modding.
That's good. Which
But for other,
reminds me, I'm going to put in the chat right now a link to your Discord.
oh, thank you.
I have it there because that's where there's troubleshooting. There's all kinds of things. So even if it gets a little too 5-head, I'm so cool now.
Little 2.5 head, yep.
Can we use it like that? I don't know. Even if it gets a little too complicated, there's still all kinds of help and support in your Discord. There we go.
All right.
So go in there. There will be even more information. Right. I think we can as you said, look a little more at YAJAN and what sort of list you try to create. I'm really curious, like what was the main goal? What sort of experience you want to create for the players? That sort of things.
Well, the main experience I was trying to give was I was trying to fully capture what it's like to, because if you think about the story of Morrowind, you're some random dude who was in prison for whatever reason, and they just dumped you on into a swamp on an island in the middle of Morrowind,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Go find this guy. Good luck."
Mm.
And then you were left to your own devices. You've never been here before. You've never had this experience before. They gave you nothing, literally just the clothes off your back. What is the experience like to start from nothing and become the Nerevarine, basically? Or become, even if you decide not to do the main quest, just become a very powerful person in general.
Mm.
And I do like the fact that the scaling that exists in the vanilla game does reflect that. Like, you start off as nobody, you can't stab anyone with your kite and dagger
You
because
run
your
away
skills are
from
too
rats
low.
because they kill you.
Yep. Like, the experience is still there, but once you figured out the game, it becomes very simple. You know, you start to learn all the tricks and the secrets and the game mechanics, and you use them to your advantage. To the point where I've made so many characters, even in vanilla Morrowind, that I think I know every single piece of gold that exists in the cells surrounding Satanin
Mhm.
because or all the money I can possibly make at level 1.
Hang on. Did you find on the road between Sadanin, following the coast towards Ebonheart, but still in the Bitter Coast, did you
Hmm.
ever find an old sack, sorry, with gold in it? It's vanilla, it's against a tree, and I discovered it less than a year ago.
I don't think I have seen that
There
one.
you go.
I usually don't pass that ridge into like the fork between Pelagiad and Ebonheart, because with friends and foes installed, when I walk past there, there's always a bandit, and he
Always.
always
No
wrecks my
way.
shit. He always wrecks my
Jeez,
shit.
whoever created friends and foes must be evil.
Yep, yep. That mod author is out to get me.
I
But
got
with
that a lot.
what I've tried to do with YAJAN though is make that experience more hardcore. So I didn't want to add permadeath or anything. That's something I played with in the beginning, but I realized very quickly it doesn't work with Morrowind because you die for no reason all of the time. And I I hate it in permadeath runs where you die for no reason and it's like, well, I guess I'm done with that character. But what I did do is I did Ashfall, obviously. You have to have Ashfall. It's a must-have mod for me.
I've been saying it for years. Even before it was published, I was playing Ashfall. And I was
Oh,
saying,
I'm
use it,
jealous.
use it. I played the moment Frostwind come out, which is basically
Hmm.
the first version that Merlord
Welcome,
wrote.
friend.
And welcome on in, Soft the Abyss. There we go. It's cut, I couldn't read it. Um, and the moment he went to Ashfall Alpha, that's what I was playing. I was playing it and beta testing, I guess, at the time, and never turned back. It's a game changer.
Ashfall is actually what got me started looking at Morrowind modding
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was crazy. There were like news articles and stuff about it. I was hyped when it came out.
And it gets even better. Like I think it's today, Merlot posted another showcase where you can actually transfer water from one pot to a glass, from a glass to another pot.
Hmm.
It's like, what?
Yeah, it's the man's a genius. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
He's
You hear us,
he's
Merlot? You're a genius. So when we want a mod,
he
you make it.
he shot right past 5 head and he's in like 8 or 9 head now.
Is it a thing already?
I guess
It is now.
it just for Murlord, he gets his own head.
But yeah, it definitely is a game changer. Even if you're not, I mean, I find that even if you're not into survival mods and difficulty mods, it doesn't have to be a punishing mod. It's just
Oh
very,
no,
very immersive. So even if you're not, like, oh, I want to play hardcore, even if you're not like that, you still enjoy the game. So, I mean,
absolutely.
the mod.
I love the decision to add all of the needs as optional
Mm-hmm.
because
That's what Vegeto is saying. Yeah.
I've had several people come in and be like, "Hey, I hate survival mechanics. How do I disable these?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Okay, don't disable the mod. Just disable the part that makes you eat, sleep, and drink because the rest of the mod, that's like a tiny sliver of what the mod's actually about. The rest of the mod is great because you can still do all of the things that you'd be doing for survival, but you're choosing to do them now for immersion and stuff like that." And people ended up coming back and being like, "Hey, I ended up re-enabling food hunger and tiredness because I wanted a reason to do all the stuff I was doing because Ashfall was that cool."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here, let me go into my overhauls because this will help me these are like the basis of the actual gameplay here. These will help me go over a little bit more. So right now I'm trying to add 4NM, and actually 4NM is pronounced chim.
Wait,
I just
in
learned this.
Russian.
Yeah, I just learned this in from Axe like a week ago. It's pronounced chim, but I'm too used to saying 4NM now. And it's been fantastic. A lot of the mods I was already using are features in 4NM, which was great because it drastically reduced the amount of different mods I was having to add, which reduced the amount of memory I was using, which means I can add more mods, which is always the goal here. I'm trying to push the engine to the absolute limit, trying to see what I can get away with without running at 10 FPS.
Mod it till you break it.
Yep, exactly. And a lot of the mods I put in here outside of gameplay mods, so that's what all these overhaul mods are, and the balancing mods as well. Outside of these, almost every mod is designed for you, the player, to roleplay and immerse yourself into Morrowind. So, as you can see, roleplaying and immersion are my two. I think they have most of the mods. Let's see. Where does it say how many I have selected?
Because I don't know. But
I can't see it, but
we can see it's quite a few.
it's quite a few. It's quite a few. I'm pretty sure it's most of the mods I have on here. And that is the main goal of YAJAN, is to immerse yourself into the world of Morrowind. And I think I've done a pretty good job there. The biggest issue right now is that there are some mods in here that I was a huge fan of, but they're a little buggy. One of them just because it's kind of old, and the other one because it's still in development, so for opposite reasons. But NPCs Go Home is fantastic. I love it so much. The only problem is that it can crash sometimes, and also occasionally it won't return NPCs to where they were in the daytime. So you're walking around, Satanin during the day, and there's no one there.
Did they fix the problem with Fargoth? Because Fargoth would disappear at night, including when you want him skulking around.
They did fix that.
They did fix that.
They did fix that. Yeah. I was using it last week to actually play through, and I was doing Fargoth the quest to steal Fargoth stuff, and he did it just fine. I hate waiting up in that lighthouse for him to go every single time because of the sheer amount of characters I create. But his little sneaking cutscene works just fine. And then the other one was advanced NPCs, and it looks like I've already removed it. That one,
old one, was it the one that was for Morrowind Advanced and then got an MWSE patch?
maybe I don't know if it's the same mod, but it's the one that makes it so that when NPCs walk past each other, they'll greet one another like how they would greet the player. And it was really cool because when you're in cities, I have is it Muse that does it? So the Muse or CSO that does it?
Muse, I think. That lets you choose the soundtracks.
Sorry?
Muse, that lets you add the soundtracks per cities, settlements, regions, and all that.
Oh, yes. So Muse added like a background track to a lot of the cities that just sounds like, city bustling, people talking and stuff like that. And walking past two NPCs and they greet one another, and it sounds like they're about to enter into a conversation with all that noise happening in the background as well. It honestly feels like you're just walking down the street in a city,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of the greatest experiences I've had since starting YAJAN. Is realizing that the worst experience was getting somebody in my chat every 2 minutes saying, "Hey, I'm getting a crash because of advanced NPCs," and ending up having to just tell them, "Well, you gotta disable it." Unfortunately,
That
I'm the
sounds.
type of person who can deal with a lot of crashes, but I know a lot of people can't deal with crashes. It's just too annoying for them.
It's just Morrowind. It's part of the game. I'll just
Yeah.
say one thing, Skink. If you're still here, just cover your ears. But NPCs greeting each other and having a little conversation is something that Oblivion did.
Yes. Yes, that was
So,
something I loved about Oblivion.
point for Oblivion there. That might be the
Yeah.
only thing. But credit where credit is due. Yes.
I mean, they have a couple of good things. I actually used Morrowind as a basis for some things. Like, I honestly prefer Oblivion's persuasion system. I think that Morrowind's system is too complicated and too simple at the same time,
Mm.
and I think that Skyrim's is just too not there.
Yeah. It's just not. Just not.
Yeah, like you get a few dialogue options here and there, but other than that, speechcraft doesn't really affect anything other than the prices of the sword you're trying to sell.
Mm.
Um, but in Oblivion, um, you had that random mini game which I really enjoyed actually, and I actually really like Oblivion's lock picking as well. I think it has the best lock picking out of any game except maybe ESO. ESO's lock picking is a good mix between Skyrim's and Oblivion's.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, for me, Oblivion lockpicking, I never had the patience.
Hmm.
So I would try, break a couple of lockpicks and go auto, whatever the button was.
Oh man, yeah.
Because I never had the patience, at least with Skyrim. I'm not saying it's better, but I could do it. so, so for me, it was better. And I don't remember SO lockpicking. What does it look like?
So ESO lock picking, it has the individual pins like it does in Oblivion, but instead of having to time an exact button press and switching back and forth between the pins in kind of a clunky way, what you do is you select a pin and then you hold down a button and uh it'll push down the pin until it feels like it's set and then you let go. But if you hold it down for too long, you'll break your lockpick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it gives you a time limit before the core like kind of resets itself and you have to start again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good balance between the different systems.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun little mini game. I think it gets in my way enough that I feel like lockpicking is actually a challenge, but doesn't get in my way so much that I want to throw, the keyboard and mouse across the room.
Always a plus, always a plus. And
Yep.
the speechcraft minigame in Oblivion, I liked it. Um, but I understand that a lot of people just find it annoying because after a while you just do it very quickly and you just have to do it. You go through the motions.
Mhm.
So I don't know. For speechcraft, maybe we still need something better.
I've actually been working on something for Morrowind for regarding speechcraft. I haven't really talked about it at all, but I wrote down a couple of things about it. I wanted to
Give us
add
the scoop.
I wanted to add a new persuasion. What's the word? A new persuasion um option.
Uh-huh.
So you know how you have admire, taunt, that kind of thing. I also wanted to add converse. And basically it would be a mini game where before you converse with somebody, you want to see what you can find out about them. So, you hit background, they tell you, oh, this is my class and everything like that. And then based on their class and their race and where you find them, so let's say, you find a fisherman in Seydanin and he's a dark elf, then you use that information to, when you click on converse, it'll pop up like an option where, okay, let's talk about, I'll just give an example, like short blades, right? It'll take skills and locations and maybe even certain characters and religions and say, okay, you can talk about these. How the person responds will be entirely dependent on your personality skill, or your personality and speechcraft skill, and the character's background that you can glean.
So if you were to talk to a Dunmer fisherman in Seydanin and you pick the topic Almalexia, they might just go, well, I don't care.
Yeah. But in Mournhold, that'd be a completely different story.
And the result is their disposition increases or decreases based on whether you choose topics of interest to them?
Yes, exactly. And the converse option is unique in the way where, because I want it to be accessible to any player, I know there's a lot of mods that make it so you can only use like taunt or intimidate and stuff like that after you hit a certain speechcraft level to balance it out. But I want converse to be like easier to do than admire, because all it takes is you, the player, figuring out, okay, what would they want to talk about.
So it's not really skill based, it's just you paying attention to who you're talking to.
Yes, and Noden's asked a question. What about your skills in those things? You wouldn't want to talk to someone about something you know nothing about. And that is absolutely correct. That is something I would consider implementing. So if you were talking to, say, an assassin, right, with the Morag Tong, who's really good with short blades and light armor and sneaking and stuff like that, and you're a Fighters Guild warrior who's never pressed the sneak button in his life, then you two aren't going to have a lot in common. So if you get a topic that says talk about short blades, your disposition increase isn't going to be as good as somebody who's really proficient with short blades and can talk at length about that with the NPC. I'm actually getting too far into the concept because I've done no work on this. I've made a Google document talking about what I want to add to this mod. I'm not even entirely sure if it's possible.
I'm trying to think of how it would be done. It wouldn't be done through the construction set dialogue. It would have to be entirely coded. But then just to reference all the topics that could be of interest. Say you're talking to a mage, a Telvanni mage, and you have the topic Cumberry, and that might seem like well, no, I'm not an alchemist, piss off, but Cumberry is used like if you eat it, or it's used to make restore magicka potion, so a mage would find that interesting. But to go through all the topics that could be relevant to an NPC based on their class, their gender, their race, their location, like all of that before you even start coding would be a massive endeavor.
Well, luckily, Morrowind and MWC have systems in place that make it easy for me to take out big chunks of those topics without having to hard code them. For example, every NPC has a class, and every class has major and minor skills, and a specialization, and favorite attributes, and I have access to all those. I can see all of those things using MWC. So it's as simple as when you talk with somebody, you take their class and you index all those major and minor skills and miscellaneous skills and everything, their skill level in that. And now you have, just with that alone, you have a bunch of skills you can reference as topics. And then you can also reference topics that appear in vanilla Morrowind and how they respond to that. Because, sometimes you can gain or lose disposition by just using a regular topic. You'd ask someone about a topic, and they get upset with you just for asking, which I always thought was a nice thing. So if you have a situation like that, then you could add that as one of the potential topics, and converse with them about that, potentially lose some disposition. And then finally, there are the rumors that are cell-based. So, for example, in Satanin, when you ask about the latest rumors, you're likely to hear that the tax collector has been murdered.
Unless you have Solstheim and you don't have the rumor fix. First you hear about Solstheim, then about the local tax collector.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But,
I've had these patches installed for so long that I forget the vanilla bugs.
It's not a bug, it's just a shortcut that Bethesda
took. It's a feature.
Yeah, let's say that.
It just works.
Yeah.
Folks.
So what would you do with the rumors?
So with the rumors, having a rumor that so you could say, have you heard about, and then it would be the rumor topic that gets introduced, right? And if they have heard of it because they're in Satanin, so they've likely heard this before, then it's something that you two could talk about and converse about. On the other hand, if you bring up a rumor that, from Balmora, they probably don't know about that. So they're not really going to be that interested in talking about it. It doesn't affect them.
So that would be for the player to share rumors with other people.
Yes.
I actually really like that. Really
but
like that.
The system, like I said, is still in the concept stage. It's something that I know I can do it. I think, but the issue at the moment is I'm working on like 3 other mods. The main one I'm working on right now is my Alchemy overhaul, which I actually posted about that in mod making and mod talk a couple of days ago to get some feedback on it. But for that one, it essentially just overhauls the alchemy system entirely.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in the Discord. Would it do what is the latest alchemy mod we've got? That's really nice. Actually implements some of Skyrim alchemy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me try to find it.
I'm not sure. I haven't been using any alchemy mods, I think. All of the mods I have.
4NM has its own built-in alchemy though.
Yes. Yes, and that's something I'm working on keeping balanced with my overhaul. I think the potions that you can create in 4NM are good. I'm not trying to change the potion formula necessarily, though. I'm trying to change the process in which you create potions. So instead of just going to a mortar and pestle, selecting, your alembic, your retort, your calcinator,
Hmm.
and then mixing some ingredients and spamming craft until you run out of them. Um,
Pretty much.
and instead, I wanted the process of creating a potion to be much more involved with the player. So you start off with just a mortar and pestle and a cauldron. Those are the only tools you have. And you can take your mortar and pestle and turn any ingredient into an essence. So basically just you crushed it up. And then you can take those essences and put them into the cauldron and brew them into a potion. And so now you have multiple steps you have to take before you can make a potion. And as you level up in alchemy, you gain access to now you have access to the retort, and the retort has you can put essence in it, and it'll upgrade the quality of essence so that your potion in the end will be a little bit better.
Hmm.
And you can also upgrade to a powder using a calcinator, and a powder is the same as an essence, except you can make more potions out of it.
That's
And
very involved.
yes, very involved, and that's the way I wanted it to be. I wanted the process of making potions to feel more satisfying, like you actually made a potion.
Hmm.
You didn't open a menu and spam create to make, a couple dozen potions. You actually went through the process of brewing potions.
I think Morrowind was talking about that a while ago, to essentially use the ingredients to prepare them to then use them for concoctions, like not potions, but more like what do you call, like some plant that you would reduce to a paste, like balm. That's the
Mm,
word I wanted. Um,
okay.
but that was a long time ago, and he has a list of ideas and to dos and whips bigger than anyone else. So
I'm surprised Murlord has time for anything with all the modding I see him do.
but yeah, I can't find that name for anyone. Can help me. Maybe you, Prof, because you remember mods much better than I do. The more recent alchemy mod. It's not intelligent alchemy. It's not smart alchemy, and maybe it doesn't have the word alchemy in it. But essentially,
Advanced alchemy?
no, that's a much older one. Essentially, what it does is when you open your alchemy menu, you see a list of effects. You see a list of known effects.
Oh, alchemical knowledge.
Knowledge, thank you. That's the one.
Yes.
That's the one. Which is inspired from Skyrim, and I think it actually improves Morrowind, even though it's Skyrim.
It's pretty great.
But
Um,
not as complex as what you're describing. I really like that.
it's this one I've actually started coding a little bit. Um, and at the moment I've created the actual script that turns ingredients into um ingredients into essence
Hmm.
and activating the new alchemy menus that I've had to create for this mod. Um, but other than that, it's still in its infancy outside of a few lines of code. Um,
Right.
and before we continue, Danae, do you mind if I take a quick break?
No, not at all. Go for it.
Okay.
How much time do you need?
Just about 5 minutes.
Well, there's going to be enough for a couple of Jenga games, and I'm going to make
All right.
myself a cup of tea as well. Guys, we'll be right back. We do a little bit of Jenga, and then we'll go back and talk about the mod list as well. We sort of forked into mod discussion, but not quite mod list.
Yes.
All right, see you in 5, guys.
All right.
the moon and star, come to me through fire and war. Oh, oh, come Nerevar, come and look upon the heart, upon the heart. Oh, lay down your weapons, it is not too late for my mercy. Oh, oh, come and look upon the heart, upon the heart. Oh, 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 I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you, sweet Nerevar. I'm a god.
Alright,
I'm a god. I'm a god. God. I'm a god. I'm a god.
Okay, we're back and we have to stop the music. Ooh, my screen is doing weird things. Rings, we can't see you. You're still hidden from us.
Oh no. Give me just a sec. Okay, you should be able to see me now.
Welcome back. Can I stop the subtitles? Yes, I can. All right. Okay, so you were telling us a little more about YAJAN in particular, and then later on, if you want to take us into the game, so we can see what it looks like. Oh, you're annoying, yeah, screen.
Sure. Well, for YAJAN right now, I went over some of the mods that make it up. And that's really the core of YAJAN is the mods, the individual mods themselves. There are so many talented and ingenious mod authors out there that it's really made creating YAJAN so fun, discovering new mods and playing around with them. So in a way, I'm trying to make YAJAN kind of like a swan song to the Morrowind modding community. Like, look at all of the stuff we have done, and let's mash it all together.
You're trying to create the ultimate mod list?
I am.
That's
That is
not
exactly what I'm
possible.
trying to do.
That's not possible. A lot of people have been at it for 20 years when there were fewer mods, and we're still trying.
Well, I am trying my best. Obviously, you can't add all the mods.
Nah.
So
You wouldn't want to either, to be honest.
no. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine? Oh, there's that one mod that turns all of the NPCs into Fargoth.
Yes.
I
And
think
another one
that
that
might
gives
be.
all the cliff racers Fargoth's head as well.
Yep. There's a lot of good ones involving Fargoth.
There's
One of these days we need to
there's
find them
actually a
all.
couple of genuinely good mods with Fargoth, but I should.
Hmm. Fargoth's game in this past
Mod Jam.
mod jam, it was quite good. I had a lot of fun with it. It's not exactly lore friendly, but the dungeon that it put you through, I thought was really fun. And other than the individual mods themselves, let's see, what else could I go over for YAJAN? I guess my workflow when I add a new mod, one of the first things I do when I add a new mod is I check to see if it has any dependencies first, and I actually have quite a few of the pretty common dependencies already. Like, wares, I have OAB and Tamriel data, skills module, and Magicka expanded. So there are a lot of mods that require those mods. So if it requires those, I'm good. But sometimes, the mod might require a specific step you have to take before. It might say make sure to merge your leveled lists, which I do that when I make any changes anyway at this point. And so once I've added that mod and I've added the dependencies,
Great. I'm sure you'll fit
then I
right
have
in.
to decide where to put it in the load order. And I usually decide that by putting the biggest things on top, and then
yes,
the
we've been
more
expecting you.
focused areas at the bottom.
Yeah,
So you can see that,
start
like, I
with
started
sort
with
of the
overhauls.
blanket mods.
Yes. Yeah, so those are at the top. Like intelligent textures, that touches basically every texture in the game. That's at the top because I replace it with like down here. BCOM has its own HQ texture pack, and so does Tomb of the Snow Prince. And I'd rather use those because they were created with BCOM and Tomb of the Snow Prince in mind, for looking like a more high fidelity version of itself.
Makes sense.
Let's see. And I think that's all I can just come out and say about the actual process and YAJAN as a list. Do you have any other questions before we hop into the game?
Because you said, I mean, you can launch the game. It usually takes a minute with a big word list. But you have Magicka Expanded, which is one of the frameworks for Magic. 4NM is also in and of itself a framework for Magic. I know at the very beginning when 4NM Magic came out, it was not quite compatible. Have you looked how the two play out? Because both Axe and Operator Jack sort of say, I would not recommend having the two of them together for good reasons. But I don't know that somebody has actually looked at the two of them side by side and make sure that they both work as intended.
Well, right now, only two mods require expanded Magicka Expanded, and that's grassless trackless grazelands.
It's based on Magicka Expanded?
Huh?
It requires Magicka Expanded?
Yes, but it just requires the framework part of it.
I see.
I'm not entirely sure why, but that mod, and then there's one other mod that adds a new magic effect. But other than that, the Magicka Expanded is only used for its framework. I don't use it for any of its actual changes to the magical system.
I see.
So it should work with 4NM. I haven't run into any issues so far, but then again, I haven't tested Magic on 4NM that much. Actually, I have another user in my Discord who's been handling that for me. He's been testing out the Magic and giving me some feedback on how it's going. Because with YAJAN, every time I make a change, I release a preview version so that people can download that and test it. If they're into modding and they want to help with development, they can do that. But other than that, I try to keep the release versions to like 4NM is going to be a while before it's released because of how big it is.
It is massive.
Okay, so I can show you. This is the character I'm currently working with. Let's see if I can load an older save so you can see some combat. Actually, wait. Let me get a good save in before I overwrite one of my autosaves.
The splash screens are very pretty.
Yes, they're wonderful. Oh, can you hear the game or?
No.
Okay, wait. I can change that.
You're not sharing your game audio or desktop audio.
1 second, it is loading. The loading times on the
We can only
YJAN
imagine the song, okay? We know the song.
Okay, you don't want me to add the sound?
I mean, if you can, sure. Like.
Here, it's not too difficult. Okay, maybe it is more difficult than I thought. We're just gonna keep it without the sound. Okay, so this is in game with YAJAN. The the biggest thing you're gonna notice is that the load times are a lot longer than vanilla. So this is Pelagia, not Caldera. And right now I am actually very tired because and you can see all my stats are suffering for several reasons. Because I just looted the what is this called again?
Yeah.
Let's see, can you see it on the local map? But the ancestral tomb over here. I just looted it. So now we're tired. I've made it back to Pelagiad to rest up and sell some items I found in the tomb before I head back, because I actually had to stop halfway through because I was going to die.
Yeah, that happens. Sorry, I interrupt you. Would you like to move your camera up so we can see your stats?
Oh, of course.
My green screen is really not playing nice. I'll be right back, turning some lights on.
Okay, how's that? You should be able to see a little... Oh, she's gone.
I'm here. I'm back.
Oh, there she... I look at the screen and you're gone. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Morrowind, not interesting for me. I'm just gonna cover my camera because my lights are not good and the green screen is flickering and I hate it. So you have the whole screen to yourself.
Oh, well, this is my stream, I suppose, now.
Exactly.
Well, here we are in game. The graphics... Oh, he's very upset with me. The graphics I was going for, like the graphical style, was kind of an upgraded vanilla, so a vanilla plus. And I think I've kind of I've nailed the aesthetic I was going for, and it's something I'm pretty pleased with. But most of it is intelligent textures, to be honest. 90% of it is intelligent textures. It does exactly what I wanted to do, which is just upgrade the vanilla textures.
I like it, but then it looks very much like my game, so I'm not exactly
you know what they
objective.
say, great minds think alike.
Absolutely. So. I can see that you're sort of running very slowly. 4NM is doing that to you.
Yes, it is. And I was actually meant to stay at the inn over here, but I got distracted showing off how pretty my game is.
Yep.
The shader setup is actually something I've had to tweak quite a lot too. I've been paying close attention to the shaders channel in the MMC, and so has one of the guys in my server, Callum. He's been paying attention as well. And this is the latest version of the shader that we use. It's pretty simple. It's not too heavy on the effects and everything, which I know some people are really into, like those post-processing effects. But for me, I like to keep it simple. I like it to look unobtrusive.
Yeah, I agree with you. In my Indiana Jones setup, I put the depth of field, and I feel like it's just too much. Like I like my fog in the distance to be blurry, but I don't need, the 3D blur that happens. I don't like a very strong bloom with the lights just blinding you because there's a candle all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I quite like the vanilla feel of it's sort of washed out colors, I guess, and all those brown-ish colors. I like those.
Absolutely. I tried to enhance the vanilla style, not take away from it. So I don't know if you noticed right there, the I'm getting refused by everyone right now because I actually have brown rot, which
Yeah.
is making my personality non-existent, which is a problem because this character, their personality is their best trait.
Ah.
So I need to find a
Sorry,
way.
I interrupt you. Amit Alex was asking a question about Wabbajack in particular.
Oh, super specialized, or so it should be pretty straightforward. So you download the Wabbajack file, or you go to the Wabbajack gallery, and then you should be able to just play the game after you download it. There are a few steps you have to take, so look at the README, but it's not complicated in any way.
Little note: it's a lot better if you have a Nexus Premium account.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is a lot better if you have a Nexus Premium account because otherwise you have to go through it and you have to download each mod. It'll
To
still
click
install
download
it for you.
each mod. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
must, but it's just a lot more convenient.
absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I noticed you don't have the extra bar in your UI for encumbrance,
Oh, yeah, I do not.
which
That's
is
something
pretty
I
useful, especially with 4NM, where you want to make sure it's always as low as possible.
wanted to add it. My only issue is I haven't, and that's really the only thing I have to say on
No,
that.
I was hanging to your word saying, is there a problem with it? I never noticed. What is it? Oh, yeah, I see.
No, I just haven't gone around to adding it yet, especially after I added 4NM because it wasn't that big of a deal before.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to be a hoarder with Imputiny,
Mm-hmm.
but now that we have a few more issues, I just realized this counts as an axe. Do you think Ashfall will let me cut down a tree with it?
Yes, Ashfall lets you use any sort of axe. It's just not as good as the wood axe. So your chance of success is not as good. But
Okay.
since it's set up as an axe, it's fine.
Well, nobody will let me stay at their inn because I'm diseased.
Well, time
So
to throw money at the gods, I would say.
So I am going to find some plant fibers and make a straw bedding to stay the night in. This is one of the coolest things I've run into actually on stream is having a disease and people just outright refusing to interact with me because of it.
I like that.
Even in vanilla, I don't think I ever had a disease that bad. And you
No,
can see I'm leveling
vanilla
up
they
here.
like you less, but unless the disposition is between 0 and 10, they will still talk to you. For quest matters, they will not talk to you, but
I am
there we go.
about.
There we go.
Yep. We need a few more.
So, for those of you who don't know, though, most people who watch the stream know that's part of Ashfall. It's still in development. It's bushcrafting, and essentially it's an extra. There it is, crafting menu.
Yep. So for this, I'm making a straw bed so we can actually sleep. I don't think I have a tent or anything. Yeah, this guy wasn't meant to be like a survivalist,
Outdoorsy.
you know? He's very here, this mushroom right here looks good to sleep under. He's very, as you can see, his background is adopted by nobles. So, he grew up living the good life. He wasn't poor. He always had everything he needed.
And then
he was
arrived in
well-trained.
Vardenfell and learned that life is not that simple.
Yes, precisely. And so now he's gone from that life to harvesting straw outside of a town because everyone inside refuses to talk to you because you have a disease. So let's just sleep until we're fully healed here. Oh, am I thirsty? Oh
It's-
no, I left my water bottle in the dungeon.
There's
Oh no.
always something. There's always something. You're tired,
Here,
you're thirsty, you're hungry, you're diseased.
Yep.
And you're under attack. By a scrib, mind you, it's not so bad.
It's fine. The scrib shouldn't attack me. The scrib is labeled as an animal rather than as a monster. With the animal realism mod. So hopefully, yeah, he's just gonna go off and do his own thing.
As long as it
and
gets
let's
its
see.
own straw bed.
Yes. I would love to build him one, but it appears he has already decided to leave. Okay, so let's sleep for maybe 2 more hours. That's 3, but whatever. Oh, okay, that is a problem. Yeah, we're gonna die here.
Oh, hang on. What's that orange additional bar? Is that enemy
That-
fatigue?
Oh, that is enemy fatigue.
Yeah, I did not
and
install
the
this
game
one.
the game has just crashed. Let's go take a look at what caused the crash, so I can see if I need to add it to my known crashes.
Morrowind did it.
You know, that is usually the answer.
Yeah. Null
Okay,
Cascade
let's
has
see.
really improved the log, where you can also get the regular warning, so you don't have to check the MWSC log and then the warning text as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's
So-
see. It looks like this time it was caused by something in the blight.
Huh.
Let me save that so I can send it on over if I need to. Oh, do I not have a crash logs folder on this one yet? When I play Morrowind, I always forget to turn caps lock back
Yeah.
off.
That's fine. We've all been there. I was gonna ask you, apart from playtesting, do you actually play the game?
I do, yes.
Good.
I do my best to play in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm playing a warrior. He uses medium armor, a spear, and a shield, because with 4NM you can hold spears with one
Mhm.
hand.
You can dual wield as well.
Yes. And so with this, these are all the skills I use the least. I usually play a sneaky character,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily a stealth archer, but
Well,
what
no,
I
this
like
is not Skyrim.
no. But I usually play some sort of Nightblade. You know, I like illusion magic and
Mhm.
alteration, all that stuff, sneaking around, stabbing people in the back while I paralyze them. That's my preferred way of playing. And then I have somebody else testing mages, so I
Mhm.
could see what that's all about, because they have more experience using mages than I do, so they'd be a better judge of how the mods are interacting with each other. And then the third type, I don't think a lot of people do play, is just a flat out warrior. I feel like a lot of people play Morrowind and play as mages of some sort. And so having just a flat out warrior is kind of hard, because a lot of the game mechanics rely on magic.
Mhm.
So I was trying to see, could I make a character who doesn't use magic at all?
That's exactly what I'm doing with the Indiana Jones challenge. We're using the artificer background, so we just cannot cast any spell.
Mm,
And even when you're right, even if you don't play a mage, you still rely on magic quite a bit.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, when all your spells fail, you're like, crap, how do I play this
Yep.
game?
yep. Yeah, reliance on magic was something I wanted to remove as a requirement,
Mhm.
because, you know, as in the Elder Scrolls universe, it's well known that there are people and places where magic just isn't okay or isn't accepted. Like in Skyrim, you know, there are places where they hated magic users.
Mhm.
And in Morrowind, it's required. You can't do anything without magic. So I wanted to find, that's one of the reasons why I recall you asking me about why I had the old vertical climbing mod instead of the new Mantle of Ascension. And the reason was because I wanted to give more options for getting up things without just levitation. And so we already had levitation for getting up there with magic. And then with the climbing gear from vertical climbing, that also adds the oh man, I totally switched things around there. So there's the vertical climbing, which adds
it gives you the rope.
Yes, the rope, and you can climb up things, and that'll train your athletics and use your athletics. So if you're an athletic character but not an acrobatic character, you can get up things. And I don't have Mantle of Ascension because 4NM has its own parkour system. And here, we'll actually start a new game here. Has its own parkour system that would conflict with it. But it does use acrobatics, so you have ways to get up things with both athletics and acrobatics. Here, we'll just start. So this is the character creation I've set out for YAJAN, which I think is really cool. So you can generate a random name.
I really like the Argonian Tamrielic. That's the funniest thing to do.
Oh, here, let's do it.
Just sort of a combination.
Rampages to beer. I love it.
And it's great because just with that name that there's no way you could come up with, you go, okay, well, I must be a sailor or a barbarian. A barbarian would be pretty good with that. And so the name inspires you to create your character. I really like that.
Well, let's see. Let's re-roll some of these. So the actual menu here is my mod. What are my attributes? And I wrote this mod specifically for YAJAN. I wrote it with YAJAN in mind. I did not write it with 4NM in mind, though, because it appears there's a little bit of clipping right here.
Oh, well, I especially like it, though, the fact that you see your attributes, because like you know that there are slight changes between female and male for a given race, but honestly, I don't have them all in my mind. So when I wrote a guide, like, oh, this is a guide for barbarian, and I would recommend actually the Nord female because she's got +10, this and that. But when creating my game, I have no idea about those things. So yeah, your mod is great for that.
Oh, let's see. So you can get a piece of free climbing equipment out in here, which is good because I wanted to showcase it. And then there's a script here, so you don't have to go talk to him. You can just right here, duties, and then you can leave.
Pretty cool. I like that.
And so it's super fast.
You don't have a Krell in there for random starts?
No, I do not. I wanted to implement random starts at first, but it broke a lot about the character generation. And since I have like this Divines mod and Murlord's character backgrounds, I didn't want to break these. So I ended up sticking to the vanilla start.
I did have problems with certain races, like Wesley's Dremora race would actually break Krell.
Yeah, things break in the weirdest ways sometimes.
Well, keeps things interesting.
Well, this is the MTR by the Divines, which adds all of these belief systems that you can add, which gives you pretty minor bonuses to your character, which really, really bridges the gap between 4NM being impossible and 4NM being good enough. So we'll just use Sithis for now. And then hyperactive. So that should increase our speed to basic 50. Yep.
Really good. Woohoo.
So you can't hear it right now, but the town has a lot of ambient noise going on, which really adds to the environment and everything.
For sure.
Uh, and let's see, what else can I show off? Oh, here's something I can show off. So if we come over here to the Silt Strider, there's the Silt Strider Courier, and this is one of the best mods I've discovered recently.
Yeah, a mod by Alice.
Yes. And you can get a newspaper and actually read it. And if that ain't the coolest thing you've heard all day, then you must have heard something really cool, because this is pretty awesome.
And the best part is that as you progress through the main quest, I think it's mostly through the main quest, but it might include other quests, faction quests, you actually like you hear about things that happened and things that you possibly took part in, and that's really good because it helps with the illusion or the immersion that what you do matters.
Yeah, it's absolutely a huge immersion factor for me, at least. Let's see. I want to fight these mud crabs, but I don't know if I can take them on.
At level 1 with 4NM, you're taking it.
Probably not.
Yeah. So you've
Let's
had
try,
no
though.
problems with the fatigue indicator? I was wondering whether I should add it.
I haven't had any issues with it, no. Yeah, I don't think we can beat this mud crab.
It.
And also, I don't use 4NM's injury system.
It's brutal.
Because... Huh?
It's absolutely brutal.
Oh, it's brutal.
Like you're in a fight and you get hit twice, and then you can't move, and you go, "What's the matter?" It's because you've been hit and your strength has been reduced. You've been hit twice, so you've had -10 and then -10, and now you're weak and you can't even carry your stuff, but you're dead. That's it. It's game over.
It's awful.
It's awful in a great way, don't get me wrong, but it's yeah.
Oh, yes. I mean awful for the character. It's great for me. Because I love that immersion factor with this stuff. But let's see, what was I looking at here? Oh, the actual system I use is a completely separate mod called Realistic Body Injuries,
Which I
bodily
like very
injuries.
much. Yeah. Have you?
And
Sorry, I interrupt you. There's only one bug with it, unless it's been fixed. If you take droning damage, with every tick of droning damage, you get injury to your head, to your leg, to your arm, and your attributes go down extremely rapidly.
I think I experienced that the other day. I didn't realize it. The something hit me and I fell into the water and I drowned pretty much instantly. Because of how fast all my stuff dropped. It was pretty impressive.
Scary.
Let's see. Let's grab some arrows and stuff. Also, everything is so much more expensive in 4NM. Like,
And
I'm buying
you
a
can't
bow.
barter much. Like if you try to barter,
Yeah.
they hate you immediately.
Let's see. Nope, not even a 1 septum discount.
Yeah.
And I only bought 10 arrows and a bow, and that put me out 180 gold.
It's brutal. Brutal. And then I hear a lot of people say, yes, my game is so much harder because I use Morrowind Rebirth, and it does make the game a bit harder, but compared to 4NM, or even just a couple of mods that make you poorer, it doesn't compare.
Yeah, the 4NM, it adds the exact hardcore experience I was looking for, where I feel like an Enwa. That's
Yeah.
that's what you're going
We really
for.
do. That's what we're going for indeed. Can
So
you show
it
the perk system?
yes,
Because
I can
that's a big
absolutely.
thing with 4NM. I think it's a big
Oh,
selling point for a lot of people.
1 second. There is a bug with the perk system. Sometimes you can't open it, and you have to go in and reset the button for it.
Hmm.
Just set it back to F2, and then it'll open it. It only happens on the first time you launch the game, though.
I didn't even notice, to be honest.
1 second.
Rampages to Beer. I love that name. I want to make a character with that name.
Well, you can have it. I just made this character to show some stuff off, so the name is all yours.
I won't remember it. That's my problem.
So yep, here's the perk system. The actual UI is a little rough, I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Hmm.
You could definitely do with maybe a more consolidated menu for this rather than just all the icons grouped together.
Yeah.
But regardless, this is probably one of the coolest things I've seen in Morrowind is all of these perks to use. And be very careful about taking this one. You get more skill points from trainers, but you level extremely slowly.
Yeah. I hardly use the trainers, and like vanilla game, modded, or 4NM is extremely rare because I don't have the money. Like 200 septims? Are you kidding me? I don't have that much.
Yeah, it's expensive, and you really don't start training until you reach the later levels, which I think makes sense. Like, if you're dropped off on a continent you've never been to, and you just are expected to make do for yourself, you're gonna have to learn through experience. And then once you've learned through experience, that's when you can start learning the correct way to do things.
Agreed. Like it's definitely not as simple as, okay, I've cleared the first cave. Let's get some training, and boom, you're level 3. It's like, okay, that's just not happening. Not happening.
So you can see down in the corner here, I have 0 out of 2. That means I have 2 perk points that I have not put in yet. So I think I'm gonna put them into bows and then into sneak. So now I can sneak a little better.
Welcome, friend.
And
And my bows do a
the
little
thing
bit more
that's really
damage.
interesting with the perk system, if you can open it again, the
Yes.
cost for a given perk is going to vary from character to character based on what your
Yes.
specialty is, your minor and major skills. It's going to change. So 4NM really encourages you, to specialize in your build. Like you need to think it through. You can't just go, "Oh, I'm gonna put a one here, one there," and just like you did. You're gonna have to start say, you know what? I'm going to concentrate on bows and sneak.
Yep.
Which if you like creating your character, creating a build, then that's definitely what you want. Let me make it rain so you have some money.
Here we go.
There we
Okay.
go. So you can play slots.
There you go. Well, one thing about that I like is the game doesn't punish you for experimenting with different builds within your skills, because once per week you can reset all your perks and even your class for free. And
It's completely free now. That's good.
I'm pretty sure it's
it used
free.
training points the last time I played, or maybe I haven't kept up. I thought it used
it could
training
be
points.
that I missed. It could be that I missed something in the guide, but as far as I can tell, resetting all your perks is free,
Yeah, it's totally doable.
and you can do it once per week, and I like that.
So you can experience with it, definitely. You need to. You really need to, because there's so many of them. You definitely need to try things out. And one of the things that I like, especially when you take things like Alchemy, in vanilla, and even with a game reasonably modded, it's quite easy to fortify your intelligence, and then boom, you make amazing potions, and fortify skill is not really hard to cast. So very quickly you can be amazing at alchemy. With 4NM, you can use a spell to fortify your intelligence and your alchemy, and your potions are still going to be crap, and you can't sell them. You really need to have good quality apparatus. You need to have perks to really make the skill useful.
Yep.
Yep. So I like that. And then mercantile, like everything is horribly expensive, but if you actually put a few points in mercantile, you do feel a difference. And it's like, suddenly mercantile, I mean, I don't know about you, but for the longest time, mercantile is just a skill that improves over time because you barter a little bit, and then you just get better at it, but you don't care because you're rich. With 4NM, working on your mercantile, actually it's one of the few skills that I actually trained because it matters.
Yeah, because you can actually use it.
Oh, I see stones. That's a very cool thing from 4NM.
Yes, so they throw it at you if you get a little too froggy and jump up on something. They'll start throwing stones at you, and they throw those stones fast.
Yep.
They have biblical speeds there with the stoning.
So you can't just say, haha, I'm levitating now, sucker. No,
Yep.
They throw things at you, or if you climb on top of a building, that sort of things.
Like, he's throwing stones at me right now, which I don't understand why, considering he has spells and stuff.
Yeah,
But
you have
who
the
am I to
last
judge?
witness running.
I do, yes.
I think like you'd have to check with Null, but Null told me to not use it, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's one of the very, very early mods, and I absolutely love it. But don't like I need to check with Null. But I stopped using it because he came on my stream and he said, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't use it. You're gonna die."
Isn't his mod?
Yeah, that's why I
man.
take his word for it.
Well, if he says not to use it, maybe I shouldn't.
I'll ask him again. Maybe he will be inspired to update it.
Ooh,
So,
maybe.
sometimes we get lucky. Those scarves are pretty cool.
Well, I also have douse the lights,
Oh, that's great.
so you can see I could turn the light on and off here.
Do
Which
you
makes it much
also
easier.
have the midnight oil? Or
I do, yes.
Don't they do the same thing ultimately?
I didn't think so. I thought that douse the lights was a separate thing from midnight oil. Oh, you're right. It is. They do the same thing. Sometimes I overlook that. Sometimes they have the same feature, and I just include it anyway,
Well,
and end up
it's-
having redundant things.
It's with so many mods and so many features, it's really hard to keep track, honestly.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to keep track. I do my best, but I miss a lot, and that's why I'm really thankful that people come in and let me know, like, hey, I found an issue with your mod list, because it allows me to fix it, and then my mod list is better.
Definitely. But Douse the Light is super cool, especially I see you have a Mort sneak mod as well.
I do, yes. Yep, that's one of the overhauls I put in. So I don't use the stealth module from 4NM. I use Mort's, because Mort's is light based.
Yeah.
So you can see the bar at the bottom. Oh, well, I actually don't know if you can see it on
We
screen.
we see it.
Okay. So the light bar at the bottom lets me know I am in full light right now. And then as I turn off these lights, you see the light bar goes down,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm more hidden. Or if I come back over here, you know, the light gets brighter and brighter.
This is super cool. Mort was like he was here during the stream, and we looked at stealth, distraction, and also even though it's not one of his mod, we also tested dash by Axe Magister. That is included in 4NM. So what we could do, we could take some of the stones that the 4NM NPCs throw at you, and you would throw it somewhere, and they would go towards it, and then you would dash to, you know, go to wherever you could hide next. And like a real thief experience, as you know, as in the game Thief. Something that in Morrowind I never thought would be possible.
I didn't even think about using the stones because I also have distraction.
Well, yeah, the stones are good because it's and you can even use the sound spell as well.
I knew about the sound spell, which I thought that was amazing. I did not know about just using stones.
Well,
all right,
they're cheaper than throwing stars.
I have actually just made it through that starting at a Masterus dungeon and only died once.
That's really good.
Is really good for 4NM.
Really good. Or for a level 1 character in general.
So does I'm not really sure what else to show off.
The beautiful NPCs wearing all these clothes and holding those lovely baskets.
Oh yes. Yes, this
I
this
might
is
not
all,
be objective there.
This is all thanks to the work of a specific modder. I think you guys all know who she is. Adding all these NPCs with the random equipment and holding stuff. It's very cool. Here, and also, I'll show you what I mean with this bandit. There's a bandit that spawns over here all the time, and he is impossible to kill.
Like a friend and foe bandit that always spawns there? That really shouldn't happen.
Yeah, let me show you.
Because my spawn list...
See? There he is.
Like, all my lists have like a 98% chance of none. So that really surprises me that he's always there. He's gonna kill you for sure. Can you console kill him so we can look at him?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, at level 1, they're super nasty because they can be level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And when a rat can kill you, a level 5 NPC. Oh, and also with 4NM, and that was my biggest problem with it. Because encumbrance is so important, and most of the NPCs, they don't carry a lot. They don't carry their whole house with them. So they're super fast and like they rush to you in an instant.
Yep.
So yeah.
It can be an issue. Yeah, I'm gonna sneak up, see if I can. Oh, I guess I'm gonna kill him with the console anyway. So
yeah, it's okay. We won't tell anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, so... that's her friends and foe, all right. Wearing some Tamriel rebuilt armor.
It actually looks like... Huh.
Isn't it?
It sources from Morrowind.esm. That's strange. I guess it's because it's a leveled creature.
Yeah, it's a level list.
I see now. Okay, so set health 0. Sorry, man.
No, Morrowind, why do you do this to us?
Of course it had to happen. Let's see. Just need to check the source of the crash, make sure it's not a new one. Please
don't be friends and foes. Don't be friends and foes.
It is Morrowind animated containers, which has been crashing a lot, and I can't figure out why.
Did you have them? Like, I didn't think they were animated, your containers. I see you have quick loot.
Yes, they are animated. I'll show you here in a second. Somebody made a patch so that Morrowind animated containers and quick loot work together.
I was using it, and I think in the end I prefer just the animated containers because there's that second where it opens before you can see what you get. just for the anticipation of what's in the bag.
That's true. That may be something I need to consider.
And then you see it's a wooden spoon and you go, ugh, why did I even
you
bother?
die a little bit inside. Yep.
Exactly. But I've and at first I absolutely loved Quick Loot, and I still do. Like, it's a great mod. But yeah, but then you do have them animated. And also when you have both Quick Loot and animated containers, you sort of hear the sound of them as soon as you approach the container. That's what was happening in my game. So anyway, I've just kept animated containers for the 1 second of excitement. What will it be? What will it be?
Well, I may change. Oh, he saw me from a mile away. I may change that, actually, now that you mention that. That's a good point. So health is 0. Okay, let's quick save so I don't have to do that again.
And approach
Hope it doesn't
very
crash.
carefully.
So here is the stuff.
More
Here,
mouse
one
squirrels.
second.
Yeah, it's time we are rebuilt. I'm really
So this is from
surprised.
TR?
Yeah, from TR data specifically. You have Tamriel rebuilt in the mod list, right?
I don't have the actual landmass because I was running into memory
So
issues.
just the data,
Just the data, yeah.
which is good. Like, you get to have some diversity, which I was one of my pet peeves with Tamriel rebuilt. Like, you'd go there and you'd see these different clothes and different armor and different weapons. And like, how come nobody else uses them? That makes no sense. It's not that far.
Yeah.
It's literally within swimming distance.
It's not far enough to have no one have it, you know?
Exactly, which is why with wares I was a big thing. Like, and with friends and foes, and I wanted people, traders, NPCs, anyone to be able to use within measure. Obviously, you don't want everyone wearing some Daedric stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I did cheat a little bit, took all that guy's stuff even after I killed him with the power of God, but
Yeah. And now you're slow.
yes,
as
I'm very
heck.
slow now, and I don't even have I'm only just above half.
Half.
So 4M is no joke when it comes to encumbrance.
Encumbrance and fatigue, like the
Yep.
two things that you sort of go like in Morrowind, like whatever. I'm like whatever unit they use, 1 gram away from being unable to move. You don't care. But with 4NM, it's like
It builds up to that point instead.
you need a pack rat. Oh, do you have anything in the way of companions?
Yes. So I have the Gwar Whisperer,
Uh-huh.
and I am also working on trying to get the companions from friends and foes to work. I stopped using them at first because I gotta be honest, the Jub companion,
Yeah.
the way that you can just spawn them into Satanin, I was like, oh, I do not like this.
It was
So I
a
tried.
request. Originally, he was there, like he got off the boat and he was there, and people say, "Oh, but I don't want you to be in town," and so I did it that way. But obviously, you can never, unless you make
can't-
25 version of the same plugin.
Yep, you can't please everyone.
So yeah, he sort of appears behind you, like, "Oh, your friend was looking for you, really? Oh, but there he is." True, it's true.
But one issue I ran into is that when I first installed Friends and Foes, I also had MWC random NPCs installed. And
That's
so
not-
I think you can imagine the chaos that ensued when I had all of the modules for Friends and Foes and MWC random NPCs, and then the extra NPCs added by Beautiful Cities of Morrowind. And the city was just filled with people, just in Satanine. And it was an unrealistic amount of people. My FPS was crying. It was not a good time.
Funny story, the first version of Friends and Foes, I did not add any friendly NPCs to town because I was using random NPCs. And again,
Oh,
it's
really?
people said, oh yes, but what if we don't want to use that one? Can you have more NPCs? I was using only, unidentified items. Yes!
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely
these are
using
so good.
unidentified
I'm
items.
so excited when I find one. So yeah, I didn't have the NPCs in town, and for me it was like I use random NPCs. It's good. I like it. It blends in. They have a bit of different gear, but it's mostly vanilla. And I don't have to worry about compatibility with various mods. And people say, oh no, but we like the NPCs from Starfire, we like the NPC from Morrowind Comes Alive. So I added them, and then people say, oh yeah, but I would like some of them, but less. So I made another plugin. But I would like
man.
more of them, and I made another plugin. I'm like, but originally I did not have anyone in the cities other than muggers and a very occasional traveler or trader. That's all I wanted.
Well, I
So,
think you've
yeah.
struck a good balance here in its current state. Because I have a lot of fun with all the random NPCs, and this guy does not want to give me any money.
Ooh, he hates you.
Oh,
That's
he
because
hates
you've been trying to barter more than one septim. Are you crazy? With 4NM, I found that on average, I could barter one septim away for 100 septims.
Oh man,
That was it.
that's crazy.
That was it. And then when you successfully barter for one septim, your mercantile goes up by 1 point, out of 100. So it's like mercantile without the perks, you will never improve your mercantile if you don't actually invest in it.
Yep. Yeah, it's I just realized I think let's see, where are they? Mercantile and Speechcraft are like my lowest. I guess Speechcraft is at 20, but I'm not very good. I picked a pre-made class this time because I wanted to see what was up with it. No.
Are you rich enough to go to Balmora and have your item identified?
Yes, I am. Let's go do that.
Yes. An identified item is a mod that I could never have made on my own because the whole system to identify is Lua, and Axe Magister is the one who coded that for me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And then I wanted something like Diablo, with the traits, and I wanted something completely random. So at first, I created 13 enchantments, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna create all the enchantments possible, mixing those 13 enchantments. So very quickly, the number of enchantments grew exponentially, as you can imagine.
Right.
And then I was like, okay,
Yeah,
then I need to
so.
create the enchanted items, like one shirt, one belt, one ring. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And it's Aurel, my boyfriend, who actually did that through code as well to create all the enchantments and then create all the items. It's like 3,000, 10,000. There's like a crazy amount of possible items, basically.
Well, we are about to see which one of those crazy amount this one is.
Let's find out.
All right. It is Pants of Siphon Magicka. Absorb Magicka. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really use Magicka for this character, but I could use it to disable the spells of someone who's getting a little too... Wait a second.
Do you have better bodies for races?
I think I'm using Ways Argonians.
That's for faces only, I think. Take your shirt off, we'll see.
Yeah.
Everybody else, close your eyes. Yeah, Uh, I guess it's a cross between the two. It's still a little bit segmented.
Strange.
It's not
Well,
like it doesn't go very well with better bodies, I guess.
That's something I'll have to take a look at in the future.
For the Argonian, I really like Red Furry Demons, improved Argonians.
Okay.
The problem, I like it, but then all the Argonians have that kind of bright orange body, or green, but not really those vanilla colors. I find them pretty, but I understand that it's not to everybody's taste. But they're very pretty. It's a shame, those are good pants. If you run quickly, no one will notice.
I should be good. I just need some water. Found some on the side of the road here.
I was lucky.
Let's see. One thing I did add on top of BCOM's changes to, this is what I love to see, is NPCs go home just working.
Yeah.
The city is empty.
Now, if you want if you want to make, that's what I do. That's what I think is better. In NPC Go Home, you have options, and you can blacklist and whitelist NPCs.
Oh, really?
And what I did, because with Friends and Foes, they are NPCs that appear during the day, and very, very few NPCs that appear during the night.
Okay.
And so with my setup, during the day, there's the normal NPCs that appear. At night, all the good citizens go away, the guards stay in, and the occasional thief or Nightblade is skulking around. So it's not
don't you also add
completely
some
empty.
fences as well?
Yes, fences can appear at night, but also during the day. So in the evening, there's very few shadier characters that appear.
Let's see.
Can you blacklist entirely? I think you would have to blacklist NPCs in particular rather than whole plugins.
Oh, okay.
Because if you whitelisted or blocked the whole FNF, then you would still get the day NPCs.
I see. Okay. So how would I search for these?
There would be I'll give you the IDs, but also I'll write it down. It's possible to add a little file to the MWSE folder that actually updates the list automatically.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome.
I just need
So
to.
you already have this?
No, I need to. I did it in my game, and then I was like, "That's it. My game is good. I don't need to worry about the others." But
you should be able to get it from your config file in the mwc.config.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Let's see. So this is one addition I made to BCOM. As you can see, we've walked into a very lewd scene. And
yes,
if we come
because
back here,
Random Val made that a separate mod.
yes.
He updated. What is the name? Crap, I forgot the name. So you have the version that updates the guild hall, but not the quests.
Yes. Yes. So the quests are only different in the fact, like you can see, I can't ask her about the Thieves Guild. I would have to butter her up first. And the only way to learn about the Thieves Guild is to talk with Caius Casadus. And that way, it's a little bit more it's a little bit more believable. Like, the Thieves Guild isn't going to be operating that transparently, asking random ass people if they come in, hey, you want to join?
Sure, that makes sense. When Sugar Lips, that's her name, when she refuses to let me in, I steal the Dwemer axe. Like I close the door, but I keep my foot in, and then I steal the axe. It's revenge. Oh my god, do you not have the pillows? Or I can't see it from here.
Pillows are here, I think.
No. Merlords and Superstars mod, the body pillows.
What?
It's an essential
Body
mod.
pillows?
Body pillows, essential mod. It adds body pillows, and they're hidden all around the game, and you can cuddle them, and if they get too dirty, you can flip them and cuddle them from the other side.
I need to check this immediately.
Like it sounds like a joke mod, and I guess it is, but it's also quite funny.
What is it called?
Body pillows. I mean, let me double check. Maybe not. Just.
The Great Love Pillow Hunt?
That's the one.
No way.
Yes.
This has got to be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
And the thing is, it's a treasure hunt because they're hidden. I kind of spoiled it. There's one here at Caius's, but otherwise they're sort of hidden everywhere. So if you like to collect items, then you can. And you can cuddle them, and you get a buff for them depending on the pillow.
Oh man,
It's fun.
that's fantastic. I also love how it says there's no ownership applied because nobody will admit it belongs to them.
It's lore friendly. It's very lore friendly.
All right. Well, I think, let's see. Do you have any other questions about YAJAN or anything like that?
Well, no, I'm going to put again the link in the chat so people know where to find it. Let me find again the link to your Discord, because that would be the best place to get, well, a lot of the things we discussed today, but, well, it was a long talk, so maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite the discussion.
And then obviously you'll have to come back. But you can talk about YAJAN or the other mod list, the Sweet Roll mod list. That could be of interest to a number of people as well.
Oh, that one's not very complicated. I could go over that in 5 minutes.
Go for it.
So vanilla sweet roll here. Let me actually go launch it up. It's a very simple mod list. It is the most simple mod list, and it is that way by design. So if we load up in here, you can see this is the... Okay, ignore 4NM. I was testing 4NM on it. You can see it's very, very basic. So we've got all our essentials like patch for purists and the optimization patch and all that. And everything else is covered. I got intelligent textures and more of an enhanced overhaul for some gameplay stuff. Glow in the Dark, Project Atlas for that sweet FPS. And then just some quality of life UI things. And other than that, it's vanilla. And this is for people who either want to make their own mod list from a really good starting point, or for people who want to just play the game as it was intended to be played back in 2002, but they don't want to look at ugly graphics and deal with bugs.
Essentially, it's from what you have, it's very close to the mod list I put together for the Morrowind first time. And it's not so much about the graphics, like it has the same thing, intelligent texture, optimization patch, that sort of things. And then just, what did I have for gameplay? Very little for gameplay. It also serves as a tutorial on modding as well. So
Yes.
Project Atlas, expansion delay.
Oh, I don't know if that one's in here, actually. I think I may have
You want to
forgotten
keep
it.
those rumors the first thing you hear about when you're off the boat?
the very first thing I want to know is how do I get to the Soul Slime Island?
Exactly. About the sun that's there. I added graphic herbalism because people that have played Skyrim don't want to open plant containers to harvest, and easy escort because escort quests without it are just not conceivable. It's just
Well, of course,
Welcome, friend.
I had to add llama.
well,
you know.
that makes sense. And again, if it's for somebody playing for the first time, then they really need to see those stats to make an informed choice.
I feel like with Wama, they at least can have a chance, even if they've never made a character with Morrowind before. They have a chance to create something usable if they're able to see all their stats. But yeah, this is the entirety of it. I'm actually working on getting Morrowind more, or getting Yajan, my bad, into more of this style, because I think it looks
graphically.
Yes, graphically it looks
It's
like what I want.
vanilla but cleaner.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, here, let's go with the steed.
You can't go wrong with the steed. Chat, I've added in the link the mod list that it's not a Wabbajack mod list. You still need to put it together. But that's some 15 essential mods for a first time playing.
Of course, you can't. You
still do that?
Everyone does this.
Never. No, I can't do it in my game.
Yeah. Why not?
I think anti-cheese fixes that.
Oh yeah, it does. But when I play vanilla,
Of course.
you can't do that in YAJAN, but in vanilla I still do it.
Baxon is missing.
And you can see, yeah, this is the vanilla. I didn't add any gameplay mods or anything like that, but you can see I added Morrowind containers animated. And this time without the quick loot.
I mean, the FPS, isn't it nice when you go for a nearly vanilla install or even more open Morrowind without mods and your FPS is 50 and you go, wow.
Oh man, it's amazing. I actually have no clue what my FPS is right now because I turned off the FPS because it's that good. I can just enjoy it.
You don't need to monitor it. You know it's nice. Yeah, that's vanilla but a bit better.
Yep. So this is exactly, it's vanilla but a bit better. You can see, like, this is now that you're playing this after looking at Yajn, Seyda feels so empty.
Yeah.
It no longer feels like the bustling entrance to Vardenfell. And now it feels like my shitty little village.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could argue
which
it
is
the correct
well, let's
one.
face it,
Yeah.
which it is.
In my opinion, I feel like, Seyda it's got these docks for a reason. I feel like they wouldn't drop you off at Seyda unless it was common for that to be the case. And then here, let's go take a look at Balmora so you can see the difference.
Good old plain Balmora.
And even in Balmora, my FPS is pretty good right now.
Yeah, vanilla is brilliant. Like, unfortunately, I can't play vanilla anymore.
I think I'm at 45 FPS right now, but this is as close to vanilla as you're gonna get without wanting to rip your hair out. I think. So I think, so that's Vanilla Sweet Roll. If you're interested in sort of a purist playthrough, but this is I think that's about all I had for you guys.
Well, that is quite a lot already. So to sum up, there's the link to, I'm gonna go there again, and really, I can't type. YAJAN. Can you rename your modlist to YAJAN? Because that's what I typed.
YAJAN?
YAJAN.
You
No?
know, it might take a bit because I'd have to remarket everything and change it on the Wabbajack UI and
Yeah,
change it on my
I get
GitHub.
that.
It'll take me some time, but yeah, we'll definitely get on that. Change
Thank
it
you.
to YAJAN.
Much appreciated. I really encourage people to go and check the Discord, because that's where you'll find the information. That's where you'll get the support as well. Yeah, and I guess we've discussed most of it.
Yeah, I think we've got most of what, the gist of everything is.
I'll come
Yeah.
back to say goodbye, even though the screen is all weird, but you'll forgive me for that. For sure. That's really weird.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting. Ugh. But hey, Ring, thank you so much for joining, telling us about your mod list. The way I see it, if that makes more people enjoy and play Morrowind, it's a win. It's a huge win.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That is my goal, is to get as many people to enjoy Morrowind as possible. So, hopefully here's hoping it blows up. Maybe Todd Howard himself will hire me.
Would you like that?
Oh, I'd love that.
Me, like, I don't have the skill, so that there's no way. But can you please, Todd, consult me for Elder Scrolls 6? I'll tell you what was wrong with all the games. I'll tell you what was really good that was added by mods and you want to have. I wish, okay, maybe not me actually, but I wish that there was a massive survey in the modding communities of Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Daggerfall even, so they would find out from the people who know the game best, who have been fixing the game to some extent. So I think the modding communities have some valuable input, and that would be good. But I don't think it's gonna happen. There's gonna be some market research and other things that have value, I guess. But I guess we'll have to mod Elder Scrolls 6 too.
Well, I mean, would it really be an Elder Scrolls game if you didn't have to mod it?
No, I agree. I think Bethesda got really lucky with the whole modding scene, because at the time when Morrowind, I mean, they released, they put an extra CD with the construction set, but I don't think that they were like, you know what, we'll put the construction set, because if we get people to create more content, then they will play the game even longer. Hey, maybe in 20 years time the game is going to be so amazing and beautiful. There's still, I like, kudos if they actually predicted that, but I kind of doubt it.
I think they probably put it in as kind of an offhand thing, because
we
they started it.
We have it there.
Yeah, like with Morrowind, the support isn't that great. With the construction set, it's the construction set is a pain to use. So I don't think it was. I think it was more of them saying, "Hey, we use this to develop the game. You can use it, I guess."
Exactly. That's my theory. I could be wrong, but definitely it was a very, very lucky outcome for Bethesda, because 20 years later, sure, they're not making a fortune out of Morrowind, but people are still buying the game.
Yeah, definitely. Or they wouldn't keep it up if it didn't. Because they have to pay for the licensing. It must be pretty good
if they try to take control of the modding scene with the creation studio, whatever they came up with.
Creation club. Yeah.
VIP club thing. Thank you. That's what it is. But anyway, for us, people are playing Morrowind, people are modding it, and the best part, we get to talk to other people about it. So it's not just, me playing my my retro. I don't think of Morrowind as retro gaming, but 20 years, I think it qualifies, doesn't it?
It definitely
But it
qualifies, yeah.
doesn't feel like it. Like retro gaming, I'm thinking, Sega Master System, 8-bit, and 3 different sounds. That's
Well,
retro gaming for me.
I think it's because of the jump to 3D.
Mhm.
I remember in 2010, games that were on the N64 were being seen as retro already
Mhm.
because there was such a large gap between um, the 3D that was then and the 3D we had now on like the Xbox 360 and stuff. And the thing with Morrowind is it was kind of ahead of its time with the 3D engine implementation
Mhm.
to the point where it's kind of like not that great now. Looking at it from today's standards, it's not that great. But at the time, it was the only game that was doing something like this.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it might be hard to see it as retro because it still has that feeling that modern RPG would give you because it was the first of its kind.
And then add to that mods that give us distant land and shadows
Mhm.
and lovely real-time ripples under the water and well all the things we have now, and it doesn't
Yep.
feel like a 20-year-old game at all.
It feels more like an indie game that was released, maybe 2 years ago.
I mean, even in terms of graphics, yeah, it's the animations. I think the animations give the game away. You're like,
Mhm.
hang on, you're not that new, are
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Some of
What do
these.
you mean? I'm walking like I got a stick up
Look
my
at this.
ass.
Look at
What do
this
you mean?
animation here,
And
or
the
this the
sideway,
walking animation.
yeah, it's
Yep,
just
the sideways.
there. Oop, oop, oop. It's bad. It's bad. But hey, that's the way it is. The cliff racer was on your side or my side? Motocross, okay. It was on my side.
Oh, how did we go an entire stream without seeing a cliff racer?
Oh, no, I saw them when you joined us, and I was trying to run to a temple, and I was running away from bandits, and they were cliff racers, and I was really scared, and I ran, and I get
Oh,
lost.
okay.
It was quite some adventure there. Ring, thank you so much for coming, talking to us about Morrowind, the mods, Wabbajack, the mod list. Looking forward to seeing progress. Oh no, I think everybody knows to go to the Morrowind modding community Discord. And again,
Yes.
RingComics Discord, you'll get all the information you want about YAJAN and Vanilla Switch Roll if that's more something you'd like to try.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me, Danae. I appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. Also, I'll put another shout out. Do you still, I think you've been less live streaming, but it could be that I haven't paid attention.
I was less active for a while because I had just gotten a new job. So I had a lot less time to do live streams and stuff, but I have started doing it again more
Right.
recently.
So more Morrowind modding and live streaming goodness. There's the link in the chat as well. Excellent. I'm going to wish you a lovely, lovely afternoon for you.
Yep, it's afternoon here in
My
the
Sunday is
beautiful
over.
California.
Sunday's over. It's bedtime and then back to work.
Yep.
I'll talk to you soon.
All
Very
right,
soon.
thanks, Danae.
You're very welcome.